welcome back to IT English Time for M1. Today we will continue with our reading lesson. We'll be reviewing the reading homework and the reading activity we did yesterday. So you'll need your book again. Make sure you have your book and then we'll start. Okay, do you remember this from yesterday? First impressions. We were reading yesterday about first impressions. Now, homework. Can you please turn to page 24? We will check the answers from your homework yesterday. First of all, before we check the answers, I would like to read this text again, and we will listen to it as we read. So you can follow along, reading as you listen. Okay.
Unit 2, Track 1-16.
First impressions. We look at people's physical appearance, such as eyes, hair, and height, all the time. When we meet someone we don't know, we create an idea of what that person is like in our mind. This is called a first impression. How do we create first impressions of people? Most of the time, we see what the person looks like. For example, we may think that a person wearing glasses looks smart. A writer, Malcolm Gladwell, wrote about how we make decisions using our first impressions. He did a survey of the leaders of big companies in the United States. He found that a lot of them were tall men, about 1.8 meters. Most men in the United States are about 1.75 meters tall. Gladwell says that we choose taller people to be our leaders without knowing it. This is because tall people feel like leaders to us. But not everyone agrees. We don't always make important decisions based on only our first impressions. Giving people a good first impression can be important, like in a job interview. But first impressions are not always true. We often change how we feel about people when we know them better.
Okay, so that was what we listened to yesterday. Now let's check the homework.
Unit.
Okay, so yesterday we gave this example to practice before we did the homework. Let's check again. An impression is a person, idea, or object. What do you think, A, B, or C? You can find the answer in your book. If you read, here it says, we create an idea. This is called an impression. So impression is idea, which is answer B. Well done if you were correct. Number 2, we usually create first impressions based on people's what? Let's have a look. It says, we look at people's physical appearance, such as eyes, hair, and height all the time. When we meet someone we don't know, we create an idea of what that person is like in our mind. This is called a first impression. Okay? So, as we can see, we look at people's physical appearance. We create an idea of what that person is like. It's called a first impression. So, the answer is C. Well done if you were correct. Number 3, in line 10, them refers to the leaders, big companies, or people in the United States. What do you think? Line 10, there it is. Them refers to, what do you think them? Here it is in line 10. Read this sentence. He did a survey of the leaders of big companies in the United States. He found that a lot of them were tall men. So them refers to leaders. A. So sometimes when you want to know the answer, you have to go back to the sentence before. Okay. Number 4, tall people feel like leaders because they look smart, powerful, or friendly. What do you think? Smart, powerful, friendly. Tall people. What do you think? Tall people feel like leaders to us. So, why do they feel like leaders to us? Do they look smart? Maybe. Friendly? Maybe. If you're tall and you stand next to other people, you stand above them, you look very powerful because you look big and strong. So the answer is B, powerful. Number 5, according to the article, first impressions are sometimes A, difficult, B, interesting, or C, incorrect. Let's have a look. Giving people a good first impression can be important. First impressions are not always true. If they're not always true, that means they are sometimes incorrect. C. Well done if you guessed that one correctly. So these are the answers. Number 1, B, 2, C, 3, A, 4, B, 5, C. Check your answers in your book. Number part B. We did this yesterday again. As an example, number 1, we usually create first impressions of others by seeing what they look like. So this idea matches to the explanation C. We look at their faces, their hair, or the clothes they wear. Here we can see. How do we create first impressions of people? We see what the person looks like. We may think that a person wearing glasses looks smart. Number 2, we can't always tell what someone is like by his or her physical appearance. Now, what do you think? Can't always tell what someone is like by his or her physical appearance. What do you think? A, B, or C? A. Okay. Giving people a good first impression is important. When we talk to people we meet for the first time, we usually want them to think of us in a good way. Okay? Like a job interview, we want to impress the person so they think we are a good person. So those are the answers to part B. Check your answers. Now, finally, we have this game. If you follow this link, it will be in line group. Follow the link and you can play the game. Okay? You need to match the words and the sentences. Sometimes picture as well. Example, something that has been created for the first time. Invention. Okay? Invention. How tall someone is. Height. So drag the box into this square. Okay? When you're finished, submit your answers and we'll see how many you get correct. That's the end of today's lesson. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. I hope you've enjoyed practicing your reading. See you again tomorrow for another video. Bye-bye.